So we have this recent event where one black man slaps another black man, and nobody can stop talking about it. And it's this strange phenomenon. I always think, what's going on behind this? Because we sit here and argue, well, is it real? Was it not real? Was it staged? Was it a false flag? And I think it's important to remember nothing you see on your screen is real. It's all planned. Everyone that you see there has been vetted, and they are there because they have assured the controllers, those that are going to broadcast their face and personality over the airwaves, that they won't go off the reservation. They won't say something like, build the wall, or I'm concerned about globalism, or anything like that, because they have a major sway over how people think and what they do. And the question is, why does that happen? And I've talked a lot about the weaponization of psychology, and this is a well understood technique. It's the reason you don't see many, say, Christian conservatives in Hollywood. In fact, if you do, they're run down and the subject of a lot of negative articles. Because this is the ultimate way to astroturf any policy. How it works is through something called parasocial relationships. And so in instances, non-political instances like this, the Wikipedia isn't so bad. But what a parasocial relationship is a psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their encounters with performers in the mass media, particularly on television. Viewers or listeners come to consider media personalities as friends despite having no or limited interaction with them. So what happens is media personality, they have learned charisma, they have likable traits that they hone in on. Their shows are highly edited in front of studio audiences, but you, the viewer at home, begin to feel like you know them. They become more your family than family, more your friends with friends. You have an illusory experience or an illusory relationship with these people who don't even know who you are, who don't talk to you. Now, this is primarily through TV, though you can see it in part with the internet, where you can have some limited interaction with the individuals. This explains some of the strange behavior with, say, women selling their flatulence in bottles, because a lot of these young men that apparently have money burning a hole in their pocket feel like these are their girlfriends. They feel like they have a relationship with these women, so they are giving them money, as you would say, buy things for a woman in your own life. But it's all made up. It's all in the mind. And don't think for a second that Hollywood and the controllers that so carefully regulate and monitor every word that the news media says aren't doing this with celebrities. I mean, of course they are. And this is the reason you see the same faces on TV year after year. A parasocial interaction, an exposure that garners interest in a persona, becomes a parasocial relationship after repeated exposure to the media persona, and it causes the media user to develop illusions of intimacy, friendship, and identification. And this is why people will get very angry if you question their preferred source of media, because you're actually questioning their friends. In their mind, you're questioning their friends or their family. And people get very tribal about their information sources, when really it's like, you don't know this person. You don't know anything about them, and you should always be asking questions. For one, because none of us have a monopoly on the truth, and for two, when you're talking millions of dollars and millions of viewers, there's always an entrenched interest. Positive information learned about the media persona results in increased attraction, and the relationship progresses. Completely imagined. Parasocial relationships are enhanced due to trust and self-disclosure provided by the media persona. So watch that. Watch when they, I want to talk about me. You see like Jimmy Kimmel crying because Obamacare, if he was poor, would have saved his child's life. Well, not only are those scripted crocodile tears, that's a technique. It's a psychological technique made for you to go, oh, Kimmel is like me and Obamacare is great, instead of analyzing the actual policy. You have an illusory relationship. You have an emotional reaction, and that emotional reaction drives your opinion and your voting. And this doesn't go just one way. I mean, Trump is fantastic at this, and it's one of the reasons the media hates him so much, but has been unable to take him down. Media users are loyal and feel directly connected to the persona, much as they are connected to their close friends by observing and interpreting their appearance, gestures, voice, conversation, and conduct. I can even do this with those of you that have watched. I can say things with a certain tone of voice, and you get the message. Things don't have to be explicitly stated. That's why you kind of know when you're watching most television shows, they're kind of going to be voting for a Democrat. Well, no matter who. Media personas have a significant amount of influence over media users, positive or negative, informing the way they can perceive certain topics or even their purchasing habits. Nothing surprising there. Celebrity endorsements, Michael Jordan drinking Gatorade. There's a reason they use this. And social media introduces additional opportunities for parasocial relationships to intensify because it provides opportunities for more intimate and reciprocal and frequent interactions between the user and the persona. This is kind of why you see these goofballs that can play video games and people just throw, sometimes like $100 or more at them just to watch them play a game. And they can go, "Whoa, thank you, John." But it's like you feel like you're hanging out with friends when you're hanging out by yourself. And this isn't a completely negative phenomenon. I mean, a lot of people are using it to spread the truth. You get to know certain personalities. You do get to trust certain personalities. And if those people are good people, they are going to be getting good information out there. But the importance is to realize when you're doing it. Realize, take a step back and go, I don't know this person at all. And if they were to see me walking down the street, they would have no idea who I am. And that's the healthy way to keep these relationships in mind. Now, with movies, you can almost get completely sucked into an alternate reality where you are the main character or you're there side by side with, Luke Skywalker going to fly the Death Star. And when he has a close miss, you're like, oh, we almost got it. And it's like you're sitting on your rocking chair. He's flying a pretend TIE fighter, or jet, or whatever. Sorry, my Star Wars lore is a little messy. And it's fun in games, but it is affecting you on multiple levels. So I make this not to say don't watch TV or don't watch YouTube videos, but to be very aware of the feelings that you have and that the fact that to some degree you are always being programmed. And something else I want to emphasize is try to pay very close attention to what you are watching day in and day out, because you will get very good at perceiving and seeing subtleties in what you watch. Now, what do I mean by that? There's something called wave pilots. Have you ever heard of this? It's an ancient technique where, particularly it seems like on some of the Pacific Islander peoples, all they had to look at was the stars and the waves. And they got so good at watching waves, they could tell where another island was or where land was based on the appearance of those waves. They became so focused, so many details can be gleaned. Another one is like the Inuit, the native Alaskans have like 30 words for snow or something because there's that many different kinds of snow because that's all they have to look at. You become kind of an expert at what you watch all of the time. So by doing this consciously on subjects of your choice, you can become an expert. You can also be programmed to feel a lot of negative things, continuous fear of everything you watch is fearful. So you kind of want to avoid that. You could actually make yourself depressed, or you could make yourself more joyful. But I think one thing we've all learned from the slap heard round the world is that we could all do with a little less TV.